let us come to another description, that is what is meant by class. There are certain terms which you will be required to know when you are making the continuous series or discrete series or maybe individual series. But normally these terms are used in the form of class interval or continuous series. Now what is a class? As I told you, this is the marks here, these are in the form of class interval. When I say class, then what does it mean? What is a class? That means a class represents a range of particular value. Here this is a class, this is 5 to 10, this is a particular class. That means the range of marks is between 5 to 10. That means children are scoring marks not less than 5 and not more than 10. In this category we have 4 students. Second class is 10 to 15. That means minimum marks are 10, maximum are 15. This is another class. So class represents a range of value and each given interval is called a class, right? So number of classes, when we are deciding, here I have taken 5 classes. Now another step is we have to decide how many classes you are going to take when you are compacting the data. Now suppose you have collected the data which is ranging from 0 to 100. Then you can take the class interval of 10 or maybe 20, because keep this in mind, when you are dividing the data into different class intervals or different classes, then these classes should be between 5 to either 5 or maximum 20, right? Why I say that class should be between 5 and 20? Normally we take this number. Why? Because if you take this class distribution less than 5, then description will not be very clear or analysis cannot be made very clearly. For clear comparison or analysis, at least 5 class intervals should be given. And if you take more than 20, then it will be too complicated to analyze, because then there will be lot of description or lot of class intervals which will give a detailed analysis, and that will be little complicated. Now you must be thinking that suppose there are 1000 children or 1000 data regarding 1000 people you are collecting. Now how to give the data in 5 class intervals or 20? For that you have to decide that what class interval you are taking, or how many number of classes you will decide on the basis of this thing, that number of classes are R upon I. Now what is R here? R is the range. That means what is the range of data, and how do we decide the range? This is the minimum number or the lowest data, or and another side the highest data. The difference between the lowest and highest data gives you the range. Suppose you have collected the data which is ranging between 0 to 1000. That in this case your range is 1000. If it is ranging between 0 to 50, here the range is only 50. So accordingly, whatever is the range, and accordingly you take the class interval. As I told you, suppose there are 500 children in a particular locality and you are doing the investigation of 500 children. Then if you want 5 classes, then the class interval you will take how much? 500 divided by the class interval, that is 100 you will take, and the number of classes will be 5, right? So 5 classes for this, number of classes will become 5 when you take the class interval of 100. If there are 5000, then you can take the class interval of 1000. Now if you want to make more than 5 classes, then you can make the class interval of, you can say if you want to make 20 classes, then how much? Now here suppose you want to take the class interval of 200, or you can say 250, then you will get the class interval of 20. Number of classes 20 and class interval will be 250. So this way the classes are decided on the basis of the range. Now next is another term, what is class interval? Now how do you define the class interval? Range of the class is called class interval. In this case the range is 5 to 10. So class interval or the gap between the two is 5. In the other way, suppose you are taking here this example, the class interval is 1000. In this class interval is 50. So this way the difference between the upper limit and the lower limit. So class interval you can say is upper limit minus lower limit, that is class interval. This is, or you can say L2 minus L1. L2 is the upper limit and L1 is the lower limit. So in 10 to 20 the class interval will be 10. In 10 to 15 the class interval, because upper limit is 15, lower limit is 10, that is 15 minus 10, that is 5. Okay. So class interval is the difference between the upper limit and the lower limit. This upper limit and the lower limit is also known as class limit. So one concept what you have learnt is, that is first is class. What is a class? Second is class interval. Third is class limit. This is known as class limit. So class, you have understood here how to divide the class. Class interval is the difference between this, and class limit is the upper limit minus the lower limit, that is known as class limit. This limit can be either in whole number or it can be in fractions also. Maybe 5.5 to 10.5 or 10.5 to 15.5, like this. Okay. So this is known as class limit. Another term what you are concerned here is, that is mid value. What is mid value? Mid value. Now what is meant by mid value? Mid means middle, so middle value. Now when we are talking about class interval of 10 to 20 suppose, now what will be the middle value over here? This will be, here in this case, mid value will be equal to 10 plus 20 upon 2. This is equal to 30 upon 2, that is 15. So what is the mid value? The lower limit plus the upper limit. As I told you, what is limit? The lower side is lower limit, this is the upper side, that is upper limit. Lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2, that will give you the mid value of any class interval, right? Now this mid class limits, what we have talked about here, they are determined in two ways: exclusive series and inclusive series. Now two, that means on the basis of their distribution we divide this series into two. These are exclusive. Now mid value you have followed. Let us continue with this exclusive and inclusive series now. One is exclusive series, and second is inclusive series. Now we'll take the meaning of this. Exclusive series. In this, all items except the upper limit are included. Now here 5 to 10, this means that lowest marks are 5 and maximum are 10. In this case it is 10 to 15. Now what does it mean? 10 is appearing here also and 10 is appearing here again. Now if in a class, suppose children have got 10 marks, 4 children or 3 children have got 10 marks. Now you will be confused where to add these 10 marks, because 10 is here again, right? So that will be little confusing. Now to avoid this, we make the series so that it is not counted double. So we make the exclusive series. In this, the person who has scored 10 marks, that child will not be included here in this frequency. That 10 marks will be included in this category and the number of frequency will be added up here. I'll tell you again. Suppose one child has scored 10 marks. Now where to add 10 marks frequency child? That means the person who has scored 10, where to add him? Either in this category or in this. In the case of exclusive series, we will exclude him from here. Exclusive means excluding from the upper limit, right? And the person who has scored 10 marks, he will be included here. And here, if one extra is you want to add, the person who has scored 10, not adding here, you will add up here, this will become the exclusive series, right? So in the exclusive series, the frequency of upper limit is excluded and that becomes the frequency of the lower limit. As this is the case, it becomes the frequency of the lower limit rather than upper limit. This is exclusive series. Now in the case of inclusive series, all the items are included in a particular series, but the only difference is that in this inclusive series, the series won't be like this. It will be 5 to suppose 9, then 10 to 14, 15 to 19, like this. This is the case of inclusive series. Now here there is interval of 1. You can see here it is 5 to 9 and then next is 10 to 14. Here it was 5 to 10 and 10 to 15. So one number of 1 is missing. That means there is a gap of 1. And how to make the inclusive series in this case? We just add up the child who has scored 9 marks over here and who has scored 10 marks over here. So there will be all the items are included in a particular class interval in the case of inclusive series, and there is no confusion as it is here in the case of repeated figures. So in the exclusive series, we exclude the upper limit and include the upper limit in the next lower limit, and in the inclusive series all the items are included in a particular class. Nothing is excluded, all are included, as the word says, inclusive series. Okay, now after understanding this, we will see how to convert the inclusive series into exclusive series. As I told you, inclusive series gave the example here and exclusive series. Now how to convert the inclusive into exclusive? Sometimes we need to convert it. Now let us see how. Here we have taken another example, that is, we take the wages of 20 workers in a particular locality. Now these are suppose the wages. First we will make the inclusive series and then we convert the inclusive series into exclusive series. Now let us see how. Now here in the case of this, what you will do, we will first write down the wages column. Then we will make the tally bars. And third we will make the frequency. Now here, one worker is getting wages equal to 22. So wages, you can write down here, yes, sorry, you will just make the class interval as the lowest wage is 22. So we will make the class interval between 22, 30, 32, 40, 42, 50. Now which is the highest figure here? This is 65. So we will make it here 52, 60 and 62, 70 to cover all the workers. Now we will take the frequency. 22, this is in this category, that is ones. 25 in this, 38 is falling here, 40 is this is exclusive series, right? So in the exclusive, this I will write down here, this is the case of exclusive series first. Now in this case, 38 we have added up, 40 we are not going to add. In the case of exclusive series, we learned not add up here, we will add up 40 here, because from the upper limit we have to exclude it. Then we come to 30. 30 again will not add up here, we will add up here. Then 50. 50 again not in the upper limit, in the lower limit. Then 45 here, 55 in this category, here 58, then 60, again 60 will be added up at the lower limit, then 65, then 52, then 23, then 35, then 45, then 55, then 48, then 47. Now this is the, here again I forgot, this is the fifth one, so you have to show it like this. Then 48 we have taken, then 47 will show like this, then 37, then 52, right? So here the frequency is 3, 4, 5, 6 and 2, right? This is known as exclusive series. Now let us convert the data, same data, into inclusive series. How do we convert it into inclusive series? Same data, then we'll take now inclusive series. Here when we are making the inclusive series, remember that there's a, in the class interval there is a gap of 1. This is wages, this is tally bars, and then frequency. Now here the wages we will take from first one, we will take the wages 20 to 29. Then the next one will be 30 to 39, then 40 to 49, then 50 to 59, and then 60 to 69. Here you are taking a gap of 1 in the case of inclusive series. Now see the data. First one is 22. You will add up 22 here. Second is 25. Then third is 38. Then 40. You will add up in this because there is no repeating of 40, then 30, then 50, then 45 here, then 55 here, and then 58 here, then 60, then 65 and 52, 65 and 52, and then 23 and 35, 23 and 35, and 45 and 55, 45 and 55, and then 48 and 47, 48 and 47, then 37 and 52, 37 and 52. So this gives you the frequency 3, 4, 5, 6 and 2. Frequency will be the same. So this way inclusive and exclusive series will give you the description of number of workers in a particular class, and either you make the exclusive series or inclusive series. If you are dividing it into proper order, systematic way, then the frequency will be the same. It doesn't matter, both the case the result will be the same. Now when we want to convert these inclusive series into exclusive series, then what is the process? Here you see that there is a gap of 1, 29 and 30, right? Now the process of changing is that you deduct from 0.5 here and add up 0.5 here. Now in this case it will be 19.5. 19.5 to, that will be 29.5, then here 29.5 to 39.5, then 39.5 to 49.5, and 49.5 to 59.5, and as your data is more than 60, so you can take here 59.5 to 69.5, and accordingly you distribute the number of workers in each class. So this way the exclusive series are converted into inclusive series to make a continuous figure, and then here again 29.5 if any worker is getting, that will be included in the lower limit instead of upper limit, right. So this is the case of inclusive and exclusive series. And another, after this, third type of distribution, that is known as open end series. Now what are open end series? The same example I will give you, open end series. What does it mean? Open end, that means ends are open. Now here in this case it can be like this, that means below 30, and this is not giving the upper limit, it is 60 and above, 60 and above, right. So both the ends, if they are open, that means no limit is given, no lower limit is given here and no upper limit is given here, both the ends are open. This is known as open end class. Now what does it mean? That in this category workers are getting wages below 30, it can be 10, 20 or 29, 25, whatever, or it can be 2, 3, whatever. So this is no limit is given, it is below 30 they are getting, and here workers are getting 60 and above. Now this type of distribution is known as open end series, open end class, but it is normally avoided because when we want to take the mid value of these two classes, then that will be a problem, because mid value cannot be taken because lower limit is not either lower limit or upper limit is not given. So mid value, when you are making the histogram of frequency polygon, you need to calculate the mid value. In that case, this type of distribution has to be converted into another type of series, then only you can draw the proper diagram. So this is known as open-end series. Okay.